This is Rob Crowder, the president of Barbeque. Welcome back. Today we're going to be cooking one of the best pieces of meat that I know of, the beef brisket. The beef brisket actually comes from the cow. If you're thinking about them laying over this way, it's from the breast and down the leg. We'll talk about the pieces of it as we're preparing this ready to go. I got to tell you one thing, I get my meat from Vaughn Packing in Greer, South Carolina. They really do a nice job, and you're going to see it in a second when we start looking at the brisket. The other thing with brisket that's very important is it's a good meat, but if you cook it too fast, it will be tough. It's layers and layers of fat and meat together, but it is very good if cooked properly. I also wanted to show you something that my good neighbor, Mr. Butch Edge, prepared for me. This is a cutting board, and I told him I wanted a big one, and as you can see, he did. This is a 10-pound brisket, and it looks completely lost on the cutting board. So, Butch, thank you very much, and if you're interested, you could probably give him a call. He lives in Moore, South Carolina. He can probably make you one of these for a price, but it's still a very, very nice cutting board. So here's the brisket. I've got it turned over on its back, and I'm just going to tell you a few things. This is a layer of fat here on the back, and we're going to end up cutting this just like we did with the pork shoulders down to about 1/4 inch of fat. That will actually render through the meat as it's cooking, because we're going to cook it just like this, upside down on the smoker tomorrow. If you turn over the meat, I wanted to show you some characteristics of the brisket. Down here in this flat area is called the flat. Very interesting, it calls it that, but if you look, it's mostly all meat. This is where the meat will be, and it will be very good down at this end. But if you look right here, along here, this section is called the point. And this is where the meat goes this way on the shoulder and this way down the arm of the cow. What we're going to do is we're going to cut this midway through the cooking process right along here and remove this piece right here. This will actually make into a very good thing called burn ends. And we'll do that, and we'll show you how to do that. But the first thing we have to do is we have to take some of the fat off of this. So again, get a very good sharp cutting knife. This is one of the best ones I've had. Just watch how it goes through this. So it just goes right through it. And you just keep working a little bit at the time as you're cutting a little bit away. You don't want to go all the way down to the meat, but you definitely want to get down to about 1/4 inch. Now some people say, you know, I like the fat on a brisket. I can leave that on there, and you can leave it on there. The reason I take it off is really twofold. Number one, the more fat you have on your brisket while you're cooking it, the longer it's going to take to cook. Second of all, I'm not a huge fat fan. I like a little bit of fat, but not to the layer that you're seeing here. I mean, that's probably a 1/4 inch by itself right there. So you just keep working it down little by little, and you'll get it to where you want it. And again, I even cut that probably a little bit too sharp, a little bit too close to the meat. But again, you just keep working the meat. That's good enough right there. Maybe take a little bit down here. You can see it's getting harder to get to it down here. And again, I don't want to get too much in the meat, because as I said, as this stuff is smoking, it's going to render off and actually run back through the meat. And it actually makes it very good, honestly. Again, no rhyme or reason, just where you see excess fat, just take it off. You can see right there on the corners or the edge here, take that off. Now again, you can see very easily here, here's the point, and here's the flat right here. And again, right along that fat is where we're going to cut tomorrow to make the burn end. I probably shouldn't take this off, but I'm going to, just a little bit, not all of it. But this will give me a little bit of a place where I can see tomorrow to actually cut. It's right there. And that's where we're going to cut. So again, the flat, the point. And I think I might take a little bit off, but I'll do that later. The other thing I wanted to show you while my executive producer and the first lady of Barbeque is sitting here taping this is what to do to put the rub on there. You do not want to put your rub on overnight. The main reason is my rub has a very high concentration of salt in it. And salt will draw the moisture out of the beef. You don't want to do that. So tomorrow morning when I put this on the smoker, probably be around 5:30, right before I put it on, I'm going to put the rub on. My rub is very simple. If you look right here, it's made up of equal portions of black pepper, salt, and garlic powder. Just mix them all together, sprinkle it very generously on there, and put it right on the smoker. And again, when you're cooking it, make sure you do it upside down. You don't want this part showing. You want that on the grill grate, just like that. So, this is sort of the prep for this. Please join us tomorrow as we're going to put it on the smoker, and let's see what happens. And again, burn-ins, that's what we're going to do halfway through the process. See you then.